Hello everyone, welcome back to another stream. Hope you're all doing okay. I don't even know what's going on over here. Yeah, I'm all good, LJP. Yeah, not so bad. So I have just realised immediately that Drac is already flexing the SGS. Yeah, I think Kilniath's having some problems by the looks of things. Someone should probably do something about that. So yeah, so today, as you can probably tell, we're doing some more PSO2. Have managed to level up a bit off stream using some bonus keys, so I'm at just above 50 now, so I feel slightly less terrible. So I think the plan is we're going to do some PSO2 today. We may do some NGS at the end of the stream. It depends how much we do on PSO2 though, honestly. NGS is just there if we need something to do, basically. There will be videos going live on Tuesday for YouTube members. There'll be a video going live, which is a PSO2 video. And then there'll be back to the normal video schedule and normal stream schedule for a bit then. So it'll be typically stream on Wednesday, stream on Sunday, video uploads on Tuesday for members, and then the following week for non-members, and another public video on Sundays. Michael Jackson Thriller Our Walk. That's a crossover we didn't know we needed. Yeah, I think it was... I want to say it was only for... Was it only for the Steam version of PSO2, I think? Obviously. Stream on Sunday sounds like a brand. Almost like it was intended. It wasn't. So yeah, I guess... Should we just start by doing some dailies or something? Hi, Mad Hatter. I actually leveled my mag a bit as well. I did a client order from Echo and she gave me loads of mag materials to power level it, so that helped. Daily dilly-dallying, is that what you want to do? We can do that. I've done none of the dailies yet today, so... I saved them specially for the stream. So I guess for now... Oh, you're coming on, Zale? Ah, cool. Yeah, I'll wait around then. I know LJP said he's going to be a bit because he's eating, so... Yeah, we're just in block 1, Zale. Yeah, hope you're doing alright. You'll buy consumables. You probably need the moon atomizers for me, honestly. If last night was anything to go by. We did a bit of the Ep5 leveling up quest off stream, and I died a lot. Force just has no health at this point. Yeah, something like that, Kilniath, wasn't it? Something along those lines. Maybe not exactly that. I don't know, Sierra makes noises and all I hear is mice. Yeah, the Ep5 leveling up quest was actually really good for experience. I mean, it should be, it's a leveling up quest. The only downside is it reminded me slightly of the Buster quests. Thankfully, I didn't have to actually do the Buster quest part of it, but... Might hop on for a bit, just trying to get Phantasy Star Portable Infinity English patch working on your Steam Deck. Oh, cool. Oh, Infinity is such a good game. I would do more PSP2 content, but it's just no much, is it? You and Drac got to 85 both times via that quest. Yeah, I mean, I can imagine the experience scales really well in high difficulties. I think I'm capable of doing super hard now. Didn't even know about it. A lot of people don't, probably, because yeah, it was only ever released in Japan, so... Oh, Zale's here. But yeah, for some reason, Mad Hatter, they only decided to release Infinity in Japan. I have no idea why, because PSP2 did, as far as I know, did pretty well in the West. Not fantastic, but you know, it did okay. But for some reason, they just decided to only release Infinity in the West. Sorry, in Japan. It's a shame because the story of Infinity is pretty cool, and they added a ton more to the game, so... So, as much as I hate to take you away from playing with the cat track, we should probably do some dailies. I'm sorry. You're going to use Braver today? Oh, cool. I can't remember anything about PSO2 Braver, honestly. Well, the only thing I do remember is that when it was launched, there was like one katana peer that everyone spammed. Right, well, I will go and see what the dailies are. We did have Portable and Portable 2. I honestly can't remember if Portable 2 was online or not. I know Portable 1 wasn't. I genuinely can't remember if Portable 2 was online. I want to say maybe it was, but I could be wrong on that. I think Portable 2 did have an online mode. There's an order there for me for Tokyo for 60,000 Mazetta for normal or higher. I'll take that. So yeah, just for anyone watching, we do have a Discord. So LGP's just dropped the link for the Discord there in Twitch chat. For YouTube as well, it should be in the video description. So feel free to join us over there if you haven't already. So recommended one today is Tarokatan. We seem to have done this every stream. It always seems to be recommended in some capacity. Maybe we can do very hard. It's level 50 and up for super hard. Ah, yeah, killing that's 46, that's why. I was wondering why I couldn't do it. Harakatan Sunders. Doesn't quite have a ring to it, does it? Maybe 2 was our online version while Japan made their next Infinity iteration for themselves. Yeah, it's just odd that they just didn't release it outside Japan. Maybe they just thought it wouldn't sell for some reason. I mean, sure. I mean, that's free money. Yeah, I hope you'll be enjoying the PSO2 streams. I know it's been a bit different playing PSO2 Classic. I know PSO2 is not for everyone. It is a fun game, it is. And damn it, I will say that I think NGS is a fun game. I just think it needs a bit more to it. What is there is fun, but it needs more. Just get it out of the way now, you know, and it's early in the stream. Yeah, I totally agree. Look at me pretending to do damage. Your poor mag is starving, cram some monomeds down its gullet. I'm honestly surprised it needs any food because I fed it about 70 mag devices earlier. But yeah, I need to figure out what items reduce dex because the dex is getting a little bit high on it. It hasn't leveled up yet. I just don't want dex to level. I would have thought playing Jess as well, but we all know we don't want that. I've always said I'm totally fine playing NGS personally. It's just that I know it's very mixed popularity. You know, some people are totally fine with it, but I know there is a lot of people that don't like it as well. I like how I'm hitting for like 1500 and I think it's Drac is hitting for like 65,000. Slight difference. Just a slight difference. At this point, I couldn't play NGS in 30-minute pockets. Honestly, that's kind of how I play it at the minute. I tend to play NGS a few times a week. And I'll usually log on, do my daily quests. At the minute, there is the Masquerade quest to do, so that gives me a bit more things to do. So I'll do my dailies, I'll maybe do a couple of runs in Nameless City, and then do Masquerade, and that's usually about it for the day. I'm kind of fine just playing it in small bursts like that. Say that, but if you recall, the best feeding regiment is weapons and gear if you wanted to boost stats fast. Yeah, I know for technique weapons, I know you can feed it like rods and other tech weapons, and that will level it pretty quick. Only time you did out as long as when you started MSQ to do. I don't think Gig is going to last long. I literally died as I was saying it. I like how there's like a lag on the announcement, so the operator's going like, "Oh, its HP's nearly gone." It's been dead for like 5 minutes. Yeah, and Jess is a bit strange. I'm not really sure what they were going for with it, honestly. It's almost like they wanted to do a PSO3, but didn't want to alienate PSO2 players. It's very strange. I got a Rappy Fever key. Oh, Zil got a gold. Nice one. Alright, what is the next daily? PSO2 still holds up visually today. It's not too bad. I will say that when you jump in between PSO2 Classic and PSO2 NGS, the graphics in certain parts of the game definitely are noticeably better in NGS. Part of that is because of the weird lighting system that they did with NGS when it launched, which then made base game look worse for some reason. So there are some things that are better in NGS, such as particularly things like the cloth physics as well. I know someone mentioned this to me before. So I know like the cloth physics on the outfits are typically better in NGS. Some of the textures on the outfits are better as well, so they're a little bit higher res. But for the most part, PSO2 Classic looks fine. Does it look like a new game? No, but it looks totally serviceable. Yeah, the base game mounted is kind of lags behind Blade. It's kind of funny when you kill things really fast. They downgraded classic graphics to make NGS look better. I mean, honestly, I do think NGS is a really nice looking game. I will fully admit that I'm still not a fan of some of the designs of things necessarily. Well, it looks fine for the kind of game it is. Yeah, FF7 Rebirth does look very pretty. I will give you that. With it just getting released, I figured PSO2 was in maintenance mode where they just recycle holiday events. So PSO2 Classic, it doesn't really get updates now. All the updates are for NGS, but there are constant boosts in PSO2 now, so it's always a bit easy to level. So there is constant boosts available, but the actual updates of PSO2 Classic have stopped. The game kind of looks better with the camera lighting off. I can't remember if I've got that on at the minute. I think I turned it off for this and then I turned it back on for NGS because it looked better on NGS. Let's have a look. Yeah, the NGS settings, well, you see that, it's kind of weird. So the NGS settings and PSO2 are meant to be separate, but I turned off my Alliance chat on PSO2 base, just so it wasn't spamming on the screen because it's quite an active Alliance. And when I went into NGS, it was still turned off. So it's kind of weird. Are you going to crash, or are you just going to float there? Yeah, you go. Don't you dare crash. But yeah, I think it still looks fine. I mean, you have to bear in mind, you know, the game originally released in 2012. You know, we are not talking about a new game anymore. You know, it is 12, well, coming up to 13 years old. It did not release in 2012. You can deny it all you want. This version did not release in 2012. Exactly, this is a modern game. So you're saying it's a modern game just because this specific version that we're on now didn't release in 2012? Amazing logic, yeah, exactly. Sega wouldn't release a 10-year-old game as a new product. I mean, who would? Hey, Pika. Well, that was an easy quest. You hear the Game Boy Color is releasing soon. I got a weapons badge. I mean, of course I got screwed over. It was doo-doo, you know? I mean, is there any other games that have released in a similar way to PSO2 did, where they release in one place and then release it somewhere else years and years later? I imagine there probably is, but I can't think of any offhand. Suppress Sol Durandal. Okay. I think there's some only released as a remaster. Yeah, I mean, I know there's been examples where a game maybe didn't get released here originally, and then when it gets remastered, it gets brought over for the first time. There is a lot. There probably is. I'm just drawing a complete blank. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. Expecting PSO2 to drop back in 2013 or so, you were very wrong. When the SEA version dropped and we still didn't get it, I was very salty. To be honest, Kellenar, you missed nothing with the SEA version. I don't know how much you know about the SEA version, but it barely resembled PSO2. Yeah, it was a very, very different version. When I used to play on the Japanese servers, this was always one of my least favourite maps. I never liked this place for some reason.
Emergency code attack.
Almost timed it right.
Completed.
But yeah, Skullnet, I think when the game came out in 2012 in Japan, I think obviously it did show up at E3 for the West as if they were going to release it, and then it just kind of disappeared off the face of the earth for several years. So I think when it first got shown at E3, people just didn't really bother getting the Japanese version maybe because they thought, well, it's going to come out over here anyway, and then it just disappeared. Oh, I got Divine Staff Amaterasu. I will take that. That might be better than what I'm using. It is. Yeah, it's still very strange what happened with that it just appeared at E3 and then Sega just didn't mention it anymore. The website ceased to exist after a couple of years. And then it just popped up again in 2019 at E3. Sega didn't want dirty Western money. I mean, by that point, there was already a lot of people playing on the Japanese version anyway. So if potentially maybe Sega thought, well, we know everyone's just going to play it on the Japanese server anyway. You heard the SEA's version was Garbo. You more think that them having a fully translated version but locking it to a specific region. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what the deal was for the SEA version, whether another company licensed it or something. Yeah, just for anyone who doesn't know, the SEA version, they basically changed a ton of things in the game. Changed most of the class names, and they basically tied clothes to stats. So the clothes actually had augments on them, which meant you had to pull on the axe cash scratch and pay real money to get the clothes you wanted for the abilities you wanted. It was another company, a company famous for over-the-top microtransactions. Yeah, sounds about right. It didn't last long. I think it was only a couple of years it lasted and then it went down. I mean, I know some things were changed on the global version of PSO2, but it was relatively minor things overall. Honestly, I think one of the main things that I'm thinking of that was changed was I think there was a scene in episode 4. There's like a bathhouse scene on the Japanese version, and they basically cut that from the global version, and that's about the only bit I know. Might be the odd change here and there. Yeah, I mean, I get why they cut it. I mean, I suppose they were concerned about what it was portraying, but the funny thing is that apparently Sierra still mentions it, but you just don't actually get to see the scene. Only Japanese can take a bath. They were concerned. Have you seen the new Splash logo on Steam? I have. I have a t-shirt with that art on. Yeah, it's the female cast, isn't it? With the Mars. God, it's the eggs.
Emergency. Code. Collect.
You got egg. I have also got an egg. We just weren't ready for Mummy Phalanx Booba. Yeah, I think that scene might be the only thing that changes the story, to my knowledge.
Completed.
I like how that trial is called Gather the Egg-Shaped Objects that are blatantly eggs, but we're just going to call them egg-shaped objects in case there's something else. Pacing for the global launch was pretty shite if you're fresh to the game. Sega dumped multiple years worth of content all at once. I think that's one of the issues that the global version has had. So obviously if you've been around the global version for a bit, you'll know that one of the common complaints that's leveled at NGS is that base game has way more to do. But a lot of people who play global didn't play the Japanese version and don't know how much content the PSO2 base had and how long that took to come out for the Japanese version. I would also say that anyone who complains about the stuff probably wasn't around for the Japanese version, because the Japanese version of PSO2 had massive content droughts. There were periods of weeks and weeks where you got no content at all. And people like to forget that. But yeah, if you were coming in as a brand new player though, having... I mean, what was it? I think at launch, was it episode... Was it 1, 2, 3, and 4 at launch? Or 1, 2, and 3 at launch? And then 4, 5, and 6 got added very shortly after? But it is basically 8 years worth of content. Sega forgot the live service aspect of live service. Yeah, we'll just give it everything at once instead. I mean, realistically, I've said this before, but the only reason that the West got PSO2 was because of NGS coming out. They were basically prepping people for the NGS worldwide launch. Remember being played when there was a lot of stuff then wait for new content. Yeah, you'd basically do the new content and then you would have a couple of week wait until you had the next things to do. Yeah, I mean, obviously Microsoft were responsible for bringing PSO2 over to the West. But with that being in 2019 to launch in 2020 and NGS launched in 2021, I personally feel like it was done so the infrastructure was in place ready for NGS launching. That's what pushed you away. Too much to do, so little direction. That is one thing I will say about PSO2. I do find that it's not brilliant at tutorialization and telling you what to do. They have improved it with the ARX missions and so on. It does kind of help now. Ah, we have an emergency quest. Do you want to do an emergency quest? Is that something we are capable of doing, or? I think we're capable. Might be pain and suffering. It's fine, okay. Let's do it then. It's good for character development, it is. I have got collection folders, yes. Oh god, it's level 70 mobs. Well. This will be fun. I'm probably going to get obliterated here, but, you know. It's okay, we have pay to win shifter. I don't know if I remember this. I'll find out. I know it's an F6 quest. I can't remember when in F6 is released. Also, good to see you, Forever Zero, as well. I think first time in chat, so good to see you. This was after Primordial Darkness. Yeah, I probably didn't do it then. I don't think I ever did Primordial Darkness. Yeah, this should be fun. Level 70 enemies, and there's 4 of us. Nice one. Like everyone just immediately leveled. Actually, this sort of rings a bell. I do remember doing a quest where you fight on like the decks of the battleship. This is so sick. It is so Sega. Sonic Adventure also has this. I really need to set this up so I can use my mouse control as well. It would be so much easier. Come to the mouse side. Didn't play much of the Japanese version, so most AQs were a confusing mess of button mashing for me. Never got far enough of PSO2 for skill to be an issue. There were some genuinely hard things in PSO2, for sure. But it is also a little bit like NGS, where if you have a party with 12 people, you do typically just kind of dissolve everything. That was rude. There's a bit of a style clash there. You've got this, you know, sci-fi thing where we're on a battleship in space, but you've also got orcs throwing barrels. Only in PSO2. Actually, yeah, Warhammer 40k, yeah. Yeah, I never thought about that, actually. Yeah, I mean, I suppose 40k was essentially just like classic fantasy, but in space, wasn't it, for the most part? I did like 40k when I played, though. Star Fox has certainly changed. I like what saying, split up and destroy them, yeah, because I'm so strong on my own. I mean, it's a great experience when we actually kill them. That is, yeah, a lot of enemies. Yeah, it seems like Ep 6 was quite a big step up from 5. I kind of wish I'd stuck around for the whole thing, honestly, back in the day, but I think Ep 5 disillusioned me so much with the game that I just didn't really come back much for Ep 6. Define fantasy with a PH. Orcs in space. I mean, yeah. Yeah, this is when you know you're a bit out of your depth. I should just got an achievement on Steam for that, for a Photon Blast. Not a particularly hard achievement to get. Yeah, just tank that, that'll be fine. It's like you're trying to solo the Days quest yesterday. Respect for trying to do that. I like how my mag's flying around me, like, go on, get up, get up.
Completed.
Okay, I don't think I've done this quest actually. I think I've done one similar, where you fight battleships, but I don't remember this part. You just thought we didn't realize you were trying to fight the Clockwork Dragon God. Yeah, generally anything in urgent quests is usually designed for 12 players, usually. But yeah, fair play for trying to fight it though. Yeah, just jump into that. That's me thinking I have NGS mobility there. Game really does not want me to use this warp. Yeah, honestly, to get to the final phase on your own is pretty good. Was it just the part? Was it the part where you've basically got to kill him before time runs out, where he destroys the Earth? Time went from 35 minutes to 5. Yeah, it's kind of a weird quest because you have a time limit to beat the boss, then you also have a time limit for that phase as well. I guess it's essentially like a DPS check. You know, if you don't kill it fast enough, then it just destroys the Earth and you fail. It is a pretty tough boss, that though, that one. Well, that's a lot of lasers, so I'm guessing, I guess like a jumping puzzle or fight the enemies. Maybe you have to do both, who knows? Game's over and everyone turns out you're the bad guy. Yeah, you let the Earth be destroyed. Yeah, emergency code, stream. Kind of feel like I was out of that target, yet still got hit by it. Yeah, hi Minsk, hope you're doing alright. Yeah, I never liked these guys in PSO2. They remind me too much of the mine defense quests. This is a really interesting urgent quest though, because I've just realised the time is counting up, not down. So I guess we just get a rank based on how fast we do it. So we'll probably not get an S rank. Oh, we're getting all the ultralized versions of the bosses now as well. Yeah, because the boss being 20 levels higher than me wasn't bad enough already. It's the Ring Fit Adventure boss, is that what it is? I actually do own Ring Fit Adventure. I used it during the pandemic to try and stay fit when no one could go outside. It's actually not bad, yeah. If you want the game to sort of help get a fit, it's not too bad. The thing is with Ring Fit as well, you can actually use it without playing the game as well. It's designed so that it's got a thing built into it where if you use the ring, 'cause it's like a resistance ring basically, and if you use it when you're not playing the game, it will still log it. And when you go back on the game, you'll get rewards based on how much you did. Yeah, I would also recommend Beat Saber as well if you have VR. That is incredible for exercise. Depends how much you like rhythm games though.
Completed.
You suck at Beat Saber. Prefer Resident Evil 4 VR. Yeah, I cannot imagine much worse than Resident Evil in VR. Well, that's probably not good. I didn't realize we fought Shiva at the end. Well. Also just realized I appear to be on my own. This is not going to go well. So, for context, I have never fought Shiva. I have no idea what she does. So, you know, what could go wrong? Don't let Shiva count you. Yeah, I've heard she has like an instant kill counter. That's about the only thing I know. Yeah, there is also the fact she is level 70. I am not level 70. I'm gonna guess that's probably the counter. That will be the counter. Yeah, I did like 5,000 damage. That's probably not a good thing. I put myself face down and end my turn. Yeah, you know it's serious when the Japanese music starts. I'm abusing the hell out of Dark Blast. Dark Blast is like super useful here. Unfortunately, I don't have enough invested in Dark Blast, so I don't have all the abilities for it yet. Well, back to being terrible again. Yeah, I'm gonna move out the way of that. But it makes sense she's pretty difficult, you know. I mean, she is like literally pretty much the end boss. It's a fun fight though. Even if there is a lot going on. Yeah, that was just dodge like my life depended on it. Like as it did. I have one moon left. Oh, we did it somehow. I suspect I probably didn't contribute a great deal to that. Somehow we defeated. Somehow we did. I got a Vijaya. I got 2 Vijayas. Keep an eye out for crack. That is certainly a sentence out of context. I think crack is that's an affix, isn't it? I think, or well, an augment. Okay, well, I got 55% towards one of my collection item stats, and I got 0.01 towards the other one. Can do one more. I'm unsure. Because it wasn't painful enough the first time round. It's a pretty fun emergency though. I imagine it would go a lot easier with 12 people. Soloing it with 4, well, doing it with 4 is probably not the intended player. So I was trying to tell the Q for Shiva's counter. I know she had one attack where she kind of stuck the sword in the floor. I'm not sure if that was it or not. She has a voice line before the counter. I mean, to be fair, she has a voice line before most things. You know it in English. It's okay, Varuna just says swing and miss a bunch. Yeah, I kind of feel like Shiva, at least in Japanese, feels like she has all the voice acting lines. Like all of them. I'm terrible at aiming this. I have to sort of lead the shots a bit because the ship's actually moving the other way. Okay, we got one. That's good. Yeah, I think it is the first time I've done this quest. Well, technically second now, I guess, but I know there was another emergency quest in Ep 6 that was kind of similar to this, though. There was one where you fought on like the deck of a battleship. I think it was right at the start of Ep 6, and I know I did that one. That's Armada. Yeah, I think that's probably the one I did. I think with Ep 6 I basically did the first emergency quest, tried out the new classes, and that was about it. And then after I'd quit, everyone told me how good Ep 6 was. I was like, oh. Hey, we've got a second one this time. Cool. I really need to sort all my weapon palettes out on this character as well. She's got way more text now. I need to figure out which one's actually worth using. I didn't even see these guys last time. Makes a change us not being allowed to use the AIS mechs and the enemy using them instead. How about I use this cannon on you instead? He did not appreciate that. Why is everything lasers? I like how it says, hey, we've delivered you some extra cannons, but then we're not going to let you use them. I guess if you destroy them early, you'd be able to, but... Yeah, after this quest, we'll go back to the lobby, see if anyone else is on. If there's other people, we'll switch around. If not, we'll just do some more recommendeds. I think these guys counter every time you hit the shield. And unfortunately, I keep on hitting the shield over and over again, which isn't helping matters. Failed apparently. I don't know what we failed there. Enemy suppression apparently. I guess run out of time or something. So I think the plan for the streams is going to be on Wednesday we are going to do a bit more Phantasy Star 2. Since we only just managed to start it last Wednesday's stream, so I kind of want to do a bit more of that. And on next Sunday we'll probably do either PSO or PSU, I think. Then we'll sort of mix it up between PSO, PSO2 and so on. I do need to do more Phantasy Star 0 as well actually at some point. Haven't streamed that for a while. So maybe we do that sometime. Can I just like stay up here and just nuke you from up here? Is that okay? You cool with that? Just start carrying around your Hack 3DS so you can play PS0. Oh, cool. Yeah, I really enjoyed PS0 actually. Okay, noted. We do not jump there. Yeah, Zero's a fun game. I think what they managed to accomplish on a DS really is remarkable, honestly. You know, considering the DS isn't the most powerful console around, I think what they managed to do with Zero is really impressive. Still want to install English patches for the Vita games. Yeah, I would love to try Phantasy Star Nova. I know there is sort of the workings of English patch. I know it's been a bit awkward to try and emulate Nova though, because I don't actually have a PS Vita, so it seems like a terrible idea me going over here. But you know. Yeah, you know what I said about being a terrible idea? The force dash does make that a little bit easier. But yeah, I never got a chance to play Nova. It's one of the very few games in the series I haven't managed to play. Obviously, we're going through all the classic games at the minute, so then that'd be those ticked off. Now, I think the only ones I've got to play is the weird single-player spin-offs like Phantasy Star Adventure and Phantasy Star Gaiden. And what else? Nova. That's about it, unless you count things like Idler. I don't think you can even play Idler anymore, so... Cool to see you get levels so quickly. Yeah, so I got a few bonus keys in some of the dailies, so I did some earlier, and I got a lot of levels. There is also experience boost as well at the minute, so that helps. DS and PSP had a lot of great RPGs. Pity most of them were locked to those handhelds. Only way to enjoy them is emulation. Yeah, I mean, unless you're lucky enough to still have the handheld. I've fallen and I can't get up. The Jam was PSO on the Dreamcast in the early 2000s, then a bit on the GameCube. Only other PSO-like titles didn't really scratch the same itch for you. Yeah, I mean, the music, I think music's always been a really strong thing in Phantasy Star in general, but, you know, PSO does for sure have a very nostalgic soundtrack. Yeah, I will always have a huge love for PSO. It was the game that got me into Phantasy Star, so...
Emergency. Code. Attack.
Yeah, just instantly got deleted. Didn't even get to use a tech. Yeah, this is not going well.
You piece of Ark's trash!
Yeah, I do kind of feel like a piece of Ark's trash at the minute, honestly. One moon left, I mean, you know. Couldn't get much worse, really. No moons left, nice. PSO's image of a hero was... I'll read that in a minute. It's one of your favourite things. It's too bad you only get to hear it in the character creator scene. Yeah, it's like the only time you ever hear it, isn't it? That's those turrets at the back, I think. Are we able to take care of those? Is that a thing we can do? Well, they just decided to peace out, so that works. I will take that rare drop here. Okay, so we're going to Shiva and we don't have many moons left, so, you know. Can only go well, considering I've got a solo for a bit as well. I might just Dark Blast immediately, honestly. I feel like that's the play.
Emergency. Code. Attack.
Yeah, just like stay over there, yeah? Don't come anywhere near me. I'm fine as long as she doesn't counter me, but she will. And using a rapid fire weapon probably isn't a good idea, in retrospect. I'm just gonna go all the way up here, thanks. Yeah, so I want to say it's when she puts the sword on the ground. I could be wrong though. The guys got nuked. They did. Yeah, she has she basically has a counter, and if you hit her while she does it, she just instant kills you. Rip. Nice to see you guys playing again. Yeah, I thought I'd do a few PSO2 streams this week. Okay, I think I know the voice line now for that signals the nuke. I think once I know the voice tell it won't be too bad. No, go away from me. Please stay away from me. That seems like a bad idea to be near her. Yeah, that's a nasty attack, that one. Yeah, Shiva does not mess around. She seems to have voice tells for pretty much every attack, so I think once you know the voice lines, it's a bit easier. Nice one. Oh, we got 13 star. Of course, it's jet boots, which I'll never use, but I have a ton of stuff that I need to sell, so get rid of that. C rank, of course. Classic PSO2, you missed this. You can still play. I said this on my Discord earlier, but I think there are some people who just assume you can't play PSO2 Classic now because of NGS, but you can. It's just a free DLC now. If my Japanese isn't wrong, which it probably is, she says something like, "You're not worth my time" when she counters. Yeah, that kind of tracks with what I can understand of it as well. Something along those lines. Because I know a little bit of Japanese, so I can pick up like the odd words that she was saying. For S rank, you need to destroy every flyby ship and turrets on the ships and the ships. And the flyby ships inside the big ship. Or the big shit, as you said. The shit ship, yeah, exactly, yeah. I have all these 11-star units that I just can't use because my dex is still too terrible. I'll check all those for the affixes later on, see if there's any good ones. Another issue with PSO2 was too many drops. Rares felt rare in PSO, whereas PSO2 made them trivial to acquire and devalue in my eyes. Yeah, so like Killian said, there's a bit of a difference. So in PSO2 and NGS, finding the weapon is like the easy part for the most part. A lot of it is about finding things with the right affixes and getting the right affixes on the weapon. So they kind of changed what they're focusing on. You play the Japanese version, could use the same account with the same character if you download it from Steam. No, it's separate servers, unfortunately. I mean, there is still, I think there's a tool you can use called, I think it's called the Arkslayer Tweaker that might allow you to play. I don't know if you need a VPN to play the Japanese version or not. But yeah, there is actually a Western version now. But unfortunately, no, you can't use your Japanese account. I wish you could, because it would have made it a lot easier for me as well. I've got a few more titles. Is there anything actually worth claiming? Headcrab emote, which I've already got, so that's useless to me. Oh, no worries, mint. Yeah, I mean, it is still it's a free download on Steam. That'll be for PSO2 and your Genesis. If you then want to play classic PSO2, all you do is you download. There's a free DLC for it called PSO2 Data. Download that, and then just do the tutorial for NGS, and then you can transport to a PSO2 Classic block. The fan launcher is better whether you're playing the JPO global version. Last time we checked, the Microsoft Store launch was such a hot mess, I don't even want to think about it. Yeah, I never even tried it on Microsoft Store. Actually, no, I think when it first launched, I did. And then I switched to Steam almost immediately. Anything on the Microsoft Store is a hot mess. Yeah, you're not wrong. Is any of these that are not just try boosts? I mean, try boosts are nice, but some gear would also be cool. No. Okay, so I can feed that to my mag because it won't level dex. That's fine. was locked to Microsoft Store for about a month or so. Yeah, probably around then, yeah. I know it wasn't very long. Oh, LJP's here. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was roughly about a month, I think. Remember people talking about wiped hard drives and the launcher simply not working. Nice good Sega, you bungled the launch. Yeah, I think it was just the Microsoft Store version. Alright, so what we'll do is we will rotate around a bit. So who we got? So we've got LJP's here. I think it's just us at the minute, isn't it? And then obviously Drac as well. You're rocking the classic shot. Oh yeah, forget that's in PSO2, yeah. So we have 2 more people and we have 1 more party slot. So does anyone that's in the party at the minute want to rotate around? Oh, that answers that then. Oh, thanks for that, Kilniath. Yeah, we'll just try and rotate around like we did last time. Actually, that works better, doesn't it? Yeah, if we do a 3 and a 2, that's probably the easiest way of doing it. You can do 1 or 2 runs, early start tomorrow. Yeah, no worries, that's fine. I think we've got a few more of the recommenders to do anyway. Let's see what we've got. So yeah, we just had 1 more recommended to do. So we have the bottom one, so it's Sound Spawn of Chaos. So do you want to do it in very hard or super hard? Because obviously with us being split parties, I don't know what the boss would be like if for just 2 of you or for just 3 of us. Don't know much about the Steam launcher. By then I switched over to the fan launcher and didn't want to test your luck with Steam. You're able to get the Half-Life tie-in cosmetic at least. Yeah, speaking of which, I've just got the Alex set actually. Super hard is fine, okay. So our passwords is stream. And then accepting current block. But yeah, I used to use the fan launcher a lot on the Japanese version. Mainly because it just made a lot of things easier. So I'm going to go starting point just because I want to see what this quest actually is. Okay, so it's just one way to collect quest points, that's fine. I did totally forget to buy moons, so I'm just going to go and get those now. I think I remember something similar to this quest, actually. I think there was an urgent quest that was kind of similar. And I remember there being a mothership urgent quest anywhere.
Code. Avoid.
So I'm guessing you just kind of stay in this block and just keep going until you reach 1400 points. I'm assuming that things like emergency trials will probably give you bonus points. Nope, Crown Dragon. Oh, another achievement for PSE burst. You can tell I haven't played Classic much.
Emergency. Code. Q.
Yeah, I think the Half-Life tie-in, I think that was just like a Steam exclusive, obvious reasons. I don't know if other platforms got any exclusives like that. I know on the Japanese side at least, I think there was a collab with the Japanese PlayStation mascots, Toro and Kuro, which are like these two cats. I don't remember if there's anything else. I've got some more rares. Yeah, I do kind of get what you mean about rares not really feeling rare in PSO2. It does feel like almost like a misnomer calling them rare drops because you get so many of them. Seems like a pretty solid experience, honestly. Yeah, honestly, I'm really looking forward to Wednesday's stream for Phantasy Star 2. Quite excited to get a bit further into that. Assuming to actually save my game this time anyway. Do you recall Phantasy Star Nova? Nearly forgotten it myself. Apparently it was a Japanese-only release. Wouldn't hold you against it if I haven't touched it. I've never managed to play it because I didn't have a PS Vita, and there wasn't really any options for emulating it until very recently. Even now, the emulation is a little bit hit and miss. Yeah, I would like to try it at some point. Just for completion's sake, really. Yeah, it's one of those obscure Phantasy Stars where, for some reason, again, they only decided to release it in Japan. I guess for that, it kind of makes a bit more sense because it's kind of a spin-off in the PSO2 universe. And at that point, PSO2 hadn't come to the West, so it made no real sense to release Nova in the West, I guess. It's perfectly playable and all story stuff is translated. Okay.
Emergency code due.
I think I saw some stuff. I don't know if it was yourself that posted it, Kilniath, or if it was someone else on another Discord, because I know someone else was talking about it as well. I know someone was having some problems with some of the textures in the game, like characters not loading in properly and stuff. It was there's a setting you toggle to make it work, right? Okay. Cast is still broken, but we don't need cast textures. Is it all casts that are broken, or is it just that one in the story? All casts, if you play as one, it's still corrupt textures. That's so weird that it's only casts that are affected.
Emergency code attack.
Oh, NPC casts are fine though, it's just the player character. Okay. Yeah, that's super weird though that it doesn't affect the other characters, just the just casts.
Completed.
Yeah, maybe I'll try that at some point though. As I said, I didn't play it at the time just purely because I didn't have a PS Vita. Oh god, we've got these things showing up again.
Emergency code distraction.
I like how it says that Draken's targeted, but pretty much everyone was getting targeted. You think it's something to do with the cast material and custom colours not rendering correctly? Okay. I mean, if it's playable, maybe I will check it out at some point. Probably not yet because I want to try and focus on getting through the classic Phantasy Stars first. But maybe after those I might look into it.
Emergency code avoid.
Nova was supposed to be single player, if I recall. Thought it was coming to a console, but apparently not. Phantasy Star fans holding out for that single player and you're cooked. Yeah, I don't think Nova will ever come to the West. It's a bit late for it now, really. Never say never, but I'd be very, very surprised. Yeah, I will definitely check it out at some point though, because I would like to play, ideally, all the Phantasy Star games if I can. You mean it's a bit early for it, you gotta wait 10 years. I mean, yeah, PSO2 is an example of that, I guess, yeah.
Completed.
Then they'll release it on the Switch too. I mean, maybe. I can't remember if I asked this last time, but what's people's sort of overall impression of the Switch 2 from the very limited amount of data we've seen on it?
Emergency code
I was fairly underwhelmed, to be honest. All they do is use it to sue people. They don't need any more money. If no 4K 60 FPS docked, I'm not interested.
Completed.
Yeah, because what's the switch? The switch is that 1080p docked and then 720 portable, I think. Yeah, so it'll be a big step up going to 4K 60. I guess it depends on what the specs are like. I know there's been a lot of rumored specs for it, but I don't think Nintendo have actually confirmed anything to my knowledge. I'm interested enough to sort of keep an eye on it. I mean, I do own a Switch, but I think it's in a tough market, the Switch too, because it's essentially up against Steam Deck now. Nintendo has left a bad taste in your mouth for Pal World lawfare, attacking emulation and their predatory online store practices. Yeah, they've done a lot of really shocking stuff lately. I mean, you could say Pal World flew a bit close to the sun, but I also think that Nintendo have been very, very hard with them. Be interesting to see how that goes. As for emulation, I mean, my view of emulation has always been... I think personally that if the console is defunct now, or, you know, extremely hard to get hold of, then for me, I'm not really against emulation. They're horrible with copyright and IP rights, yeah. And yes, if you haven't noticed already, this dragon has a little girl's voice. I feel like that didn't hit me, but okay. My rule is that if someone won't sell me something, then it's free, simple. Pal World is more innovative than Pokemon will ever be. I mean, Pal World is certainly different, yeah. I think it was really sort of menial things that were picking up on Pal World, wasn't it? In the lawsuit. I am interested to see what happens with that and see who wins. We've returned to assist. I appreciate it. That dragon was 200,000 experience. Speaking of Steam Decks, are you interested at all in SteamOS? If Microsoft keeps making Windows more invasive, we have to switch over. I have considered getting a Steam Deck a couple of times. The only thing that has stopped me from getting one so far is the price. Just because I do a lot of my gaming on my PC anyway. And it's rare I really use handhelds that often. I mean, even my Switch, I tend to use it docked most of the time. But having said that, I am still interested in one. I know there are alternatives to using the Steam Deck though, so maybe that's something to look into. Better than Scarlet and Violet. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of things are better than Scarlet and Violet. As soon as Windows 10 isn't supported, you're going back to Linux. couple of seconds late on the alert there, but not far off. Oh, that's that really useless tech, isn't it? I remember this. Kind of want a Steam Deck as well, but might not get as much use as you wanted. Yeah, it's just for me, I don't tend to use handheld consoles that much. Well, that's because I don't go outside much.
First finish.
You only swap to Windows for VR support. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely uses for handhelds, obviously. I know whenever I go away, I tend to take my Switch with me, and it is good for that. You know, if you're in a hotel or something, you know, having a console there. You got another gold. Oh, nice one. In the future, your PC may be running Steam OS. I kind of feel like I would trust Steam OS more than Windows at this point. Well, to be fair, there's a lot of things I trust more than Windows at this point. It's based on Kubuntu, which is what you normally use. It's pretty user-friendly. I have not used Linux for years. I think the last time I used Linux was probably in university. We had like a lab that had Linux computers. I don't remember it all. Right, what can we do now? Let's have a look. I think we've done all the recommendeds now. Yes, we have. Your Steam Deck is gathering dust because you got into running TTRPGs and you don't have the energy to play games. Have you seen the Phantasy Star one, Richard? I don't know what to think of it. I've seen it advertised a few times and I really don't know what to think of it. It kind of feels like it's just based on another TTRPG, but with Phantasy Star names thrown in. One more goal, then you'll head off. Ah, no worries. What we'll do is we will do... It's based on Esper Genesis, okay. Which is a reskin of Dungeons & Dragons 5e, okay. Legally distinct. I mean, I expect nothing else, you know? Let's do Floating Facility. So we're doing Floating Facility in super hard. But it should be open for if the other party wants to join. Yeah, I've barely played Final Fantasy 14. I played during 1.0 and then stopped because of 1.0. And then played a tiny bit of Realm Reborn and I just couldn't get back into it. I'm so far behind now. I don't want to skip the story because I know the story's going to be really good. But it's like a second job. Should try FF11. I have played FF11. Albeit briefly. forgot your multi-stream. I enjoy Twitch way better stream quality. Yeah, I tend to just do multi-streams now because I was finding that obviously a lot of people who watch the YouTube videos are more likely to initially go to YouTube just because it's the same platform, it's easy to follow. But I thought, well, I'm just hurting my channel potentially by not streaming on Twitch, so it kind of makes sense to just stream on both. The only downside is that I'm basically like splitting the audience, but I don't really mind that. Well, I say I don't mind that. I like it when multi-streaming works because it is still very, very buggy. In my experience, anyway. I think it is worth doing it, you know, if anyone is a streamer. I think multi-streaming is probably worth doing. Yeah, I tried to get into 11. I just found it so slow. Might be interested in getting the Phantasy Star TTRPG for assets and stuff, but you play GRPS, so busy with a setting that's already heavily inspired by it, to the point you were using PSO monsters. Ah, fair enough. Yeah, I looked into it, and when I looked at it, I thought, it doesn't really feel like you're getting much in the box with it, personally. Also, I've spent far too much money on games recently, so... or more specifically, the Monster Hunter board game, which costs far too much. You plan for your campaign to go to Algol and have a confusing time there, but you may retire by the time you get around to running the campaign. You see, the problem I had with the Monster Hunter board game is when it went on Kickstarter, they kept adding new monsters to it, and I really like the miniatures for them. I used to do Warhammer years and years ago, so I'm really familiar with like painting miniature models. And there was a lot of what I would only term plastic crack. And the cost of it went up very, very quickly. To the point where I'm now very much regretting my decisions. But nice when it arrives, though. I think if it was a PSO TTRPG, I'd probably be more interested. As much as I love the original Phantasy Star, now that I have actually played it, I think PSO will always be the most special to me for the time being anyway, just because it's what I started with. Oh, you've pre-ordered the TTRPG. I have let us know it is. Wish this dude would stop jumping. He keeps dodging my fire. Go home, boss it early. He is, isn't he? Yeah. Actually, is this the rare one? I'm sure the normal one's a different colour. I could be wrong. Yeah, I really struggled to get into 11 when I tried it. Admittedly, I was still quite low level. It's just the combat in 11 just never hooked me. PSO's been there for years. Don't see any other RPG topping it. Maybe Monster Hunter Wilds. Yeah, we'll see. If anyone was keeping track of Monster Hunter Wilds, they did announce a new monster for it recently. Well, a returning monster. I won't say what it is in case anyone doesn't want to spoil us, but yeah. So the changeover code was just another one of these. Because the first one wasn't annoying enough. I like how the goal of this trial is exterminate its presence, which is a very nice way of just saying kill it. On the subject of PSO monsters, it's only monsters from the original trilogy that will be featured in the monster manual as the licenses for those games. Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's not the end of the world. I mean, if it's PSO monsters, I mean, realistically, the majority of the monsters are in, well, really in episode 1 and 2, aren't they, to be honest? Yeah, because I think they said, didn't they, for the TTRPG, that although it was Phantasy Star, they were putting some PSO stuff into it, although it is mainly original Phantasy Star. Oh, there's a ship somewhere. I've no idea where. Probably this side of the map. Yeah, it's right on the other side of the map. And now we get to fight it all over again. Curious about the weapon swap mechanics in Wilds. Are we required to use two different weapons, or are we able to use the same one and have another as backup? I can't remember if you're allowed to take two of the same weapon or not. I think Ryozo, the Monster Hunter guy, if you like, they asked him what weapons he would use in Wilds, and he said hammer and hammer. Which, first of all, absolutely based. But I do wonder if that was sort of hinting that you can use two of the same weapon. I never tried it in the original beta test, so... I think this is going to be very hard to revive you. Because literally everything is trying to attack me. There we go. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about the weapon swapping thing in Wilds. It's a very weird thing to have in the game. Because for people who do like time attack runs, they're not going to use it because they tend to rank things by weapon clears, so they're not going to use it. I mean, I guess I can see some use for it. You know, for example, say you're using something like a great sword, and then you start fighting a monster that flies a lot. Maybe you want a bowgun to switch to shoot it when it's in the air. So I guess there is uses for it. I don't really know how vital it's going to be to the gameplay. They did put out a questionnaire asking which Phantasy Star games you'd played, as well as which others you'd be interested in. Oh, cool. And they've already suggested that they'll be producing further scenarios and supplements if there's a demand for them. It's kind of funny that they say that, because without taking anything away from the original Phantasy Star, I would imagine there's probably more demand for a PSO version than an original Phantasy Star version, just because of how old the original Phantasy Star is. It's kind of odd that they're saying, oh, if there's demand for it, because I would imagine there's probably more demand for PSO than original Phantasy Star, just because of the popularity difference. Having said that, though, I am still really glad they did do original Phantasy Star, because I do feel it needs more recognition. Having played it now as well, I really want them to do Sega Ages versions of 2, 3, and 4. Because as much as I'm enjoying Phantasy Star 2, the little I've played of it so far, it does suck not having some of the quality of life stuff that was in the Sega Ages version of Phantasy Star 1. Yeah, we'll do Dark Blast. We're trying to speed this up a bit. Finally get to hear the BGM. It's because I generally prefer the Luther Dark Blast overall. I tend to use it a lot more. Yeah, that made it a bit easier. You really want a PS2 Ages version. PS4 age well, 3's a bit easier, and 1 has one already, so 2 could use it to make it easier for people to get into. I would totally agree with that. Yeah. I mean, I applied a mod to PS2 just mainly to make the walking speed a bit faster. Yeah, 2 desperately needs it. I always hear as well that 4 doesn't need it, so 4 always gets loads of praise every time I hear anyone talk about it, so I'm really excited to play 4. But I need to get through 2 and 3 first. Three is pain. I mean, if you're telling me 3 is pain, I know you've said to me before, like, wasn't the consensus to try and do like 1 generation worth of it and then move on? Phantasy Star 4 is up there for me among the greatest RPGs, so you're in for a good time. Oh, nice one. Do it sped up for sure, okay. Let's go and check skill points. Yeah, I'm most excited about getting through 2 and doing 4. Because I always hear that 3 is like almost like the black sheep of the Phantasy Star family. I don't know if it's necessarily a bad game or anything. I just never hear great things about 3. I don't know exactly why. Phantasy Star 3 was rough for you, but rewarding. Choosing the right woman to marry made a huge difference. Yeah, the only thing I know about 3 is that it has, like, the worth of different generations, but I've never really played it. So I'm interested to see what it's like. Alright, we have 7 SP. What can we learn? What is actually worth learning? How much difference does that make? Not a huge amount. Thanks for the game, guys. Gonna head off. Oh, no worries, LGP. And thanks for the games as well. Even with the quality of life stuff, it isn't reduced. Not super hungry for the original games. More interested in remastered Shining Force. Shining Soul series wasn't bad either. The Phantasy Star team went to make Sonic instead of Phantasy Star 3. So that's what we got. Okay. So it was actually a different team that made 3. If you only do one generation, you'll dislike the game less. I have a soft spot for it being a little ambitious, but yeah, it wasn't even made by the Phantasy Star devs, and that says a lot. Okay. Has some interesting mechanics, but the combat is a step back from Phantasy Star 2. I actually really like the combat system in 2. Yeah. It confused me a bit at first how it worked, but once I sort of figured out that you basically assign orders to your characters, I actually don't mind it. I'll tell you what, let's just cap freeze mastery, why not? The shame Zero didn't have Phantasy Star 2 references. Yeah, I mean, I guess the only real reference really is the the reliance of like the Newmans on, well, reliance of people on Mother, isn't it really? If the two suit will get married to 3 times, and your children will easily outclass you in stats, and enemies will change as well. Okay. Yeah, man, I definitely want to check out 3. Obviously, once we finish 2. I'll do the first generation, and then after that, I'll see how I feel. Alright, so we've got 2, so we've got 2 spaces in the party if anyone wants to join. Combat systems in RPGs can be really interesting. Originally didn't want to play FF13 because you thought it played itself, but there's a different way of approaching battles. Phantasy Star 3 interests me in the generation aspect. Okay. Alright, we've got our 4 again. Yeah, I played a bit of 13. I think, is 13 the one with the, is it the paradigm shift system or something in it? I seem to remember that confusing me initially. Let's do Advanced Quest or C mode. I mean, I'm fine trying challenge mode. I haven't done it in PSO2 for ages, so I generally can't remember what it's like. Also, Mew and Ren for the win in Phantasy Star 3, they made you love Newmans and androids even more. Just stay safe and pick a twat. Yeah, we can try it then. Do we have to go to, is it a challenge lobby we go to? OGC mode takes hours though, it does. Alright then, let's go to a challenge mode block then. So Universal... Is it Universal Challenge Lobby or Challenge Quest Recommend? Like, because that to me says the same thing. I don't think 3 is as bad as everyone says it is, but it was definitely a little disappointing and somewhat underwhelming compared to 2. Because that's just to play with other people, so C mode recommends, okay. Yeah, I am really interested to go through, well, for 2, 3, and 4. For some reason, that music seems very, very quiet. Like, quieter than everything else in the game. And I don't know why. He's doing a quick trade to evade Sega attacks. Okay. Definitely has a different vibe to it. Yeah, that's what I've heard, really. I think since I'm going through them anyway, I definitely want to experience at least one generation of 3. I think 2 and 4 are definitely the ones I'm more interested in. I was surprised how much I liked 1, to be honest. You know, it was impossible to hit once, once Trick Track started playing in the dungeons. I was hooked. You'll love Phantasy Star 2, I enjoyed it the most. I mean, humans have always been my favourite race in Phantasy Star, so... PS1 will always be enjoy the pizza music for me. Yeah, I'm never going to live that clip down. The funny thing is, when that happened, I realised that you wouldn't be able to hear the music as I was saying it, and I thought, oh god, that's going to be a clip. For his chef's kiss. Yeah, that is basically what I hear from everyone about 4. Had to be a first clip at some point. They did. Yeah, they did. Yeah, so we'll just wait for Draken to get back, and then we'll have a go at challenge mode, I guess. Also, thanks to everyone for watching. I've noticed that the PSO2 Classic streams seem to be doing pretty well, which I'm kind of surprised at. 18 million get. You can now spend 40 million on Augment Protect. I'm so sorry. Yeah, Lasik and Dark Falls in Phantasy Star 1 was so difficult. I struggled like anything against them. I hope that when we get to Ultra Hard, we can fill up a mining rig MPA. It would be cool if we could. There's Augment Protect behind the VR urgent quest on Ultra Hard. Oh god. Make playing PSO2 a Discord requirement if they don't play a band. I'd instantly have no one left on the Discord. Which again, reminder, we do have a Discord, so should be in the YouTube description and should be just under the stream on Twitch. Feel free to join there if you want to. He sounds very excited. So, violent tremor, okay. I mean, that does look way harder, but sure. I kept wondering how he's faster than 4 people, so weird. Yeah, the speed thing in Phantasy Star 1 is very, very strange. It does just kind of feel like an RNG dice roll, whether you actually get to go first or not. Okay, I will try and remember this. God, so much tutorial. Dudu the final boss. Yeah, Dudu is the final boss of PSO2. Pick Etoile, safest choice, and we can heal each other. I'm not going to remember how to play Etoile at all. I barely played this in Japanese PSO2, so I will be horrible. Just be slow and don't take damage. Okay. Yeah, so it's not like PSO challenge mode at all, where you just don't need to rush. Cease damage, okay. How hard can it be, you know? Yeah, I haven't done challenge mode in PSO2 for ages, for literal years. And I don't think this one was in the game when I played. You'd be cooked regarding playing PSO2. Don't think there's much stake could do to get back into NGS at this point. I think, yeah, PSO2 and NGS are the kind of games where you're either going to like them or you don't. If you prefer the games like PSO, then it is a massive jump to play this. They are extremely different. And now to pretend to know what I'm doing. I am noticing that everyone appears to be level 70 and I appear to be level 55. I don't know how I feel about that. Etoile is low level because it's OP. It is nice that they give you a heal right at the start. I don't really know how I got through that. I'll take it. Yeah, I never liked this class when I played a little bit of F6, because I did try this class out and then I quit shortly after. I never liked how floaty the class felt. PSU will always be a favourite, followed by PSO. It's surprising how many people love PSU, honestly. Yeah, very, very different to how it used to be back in the day. I do really, really like PSU, but yeah, it's really interesting how many people hated it back in the day and now really like it. It's one of the things that throws you off modern PSOs, the fluff. You do consider the PSP games part of the Phantasy Star universe. But yeah, I mean, they're set in the same system, so the PSP games are really solid, honestly. All of them. Like, PSP 1 is definitely the worst of the three, but it has, has its own story. I think it's totally fine for a PSP game. Back in the day, PSU was judged really harshly. It really was. Yeah, can confirm I still don't like this class. You love the simplicity of PSO? Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people don't like PSO because of how simple the combat is. You know, it is essentially just 3 button presses, but it's never bothered me. As in, oh yeah, as in like the dance-like movement and the visual pollution. Yeah, that is one thing I really struggle with the PSO2, and particularly with NGS. Sometimes, particularly if you get something like a PSA burst, there is so much stuff going on screen, it's actually hard to see what's going on. Yeah, I respect them both because, you know, they are both Phantasy Star games at the end of the day, but they are completely different. I've got to say, so far, this does not feel at all like PSO challenge mode. Oh, I can't double jump now. That sucks. It is nice to have that heal ability. That is quite handy. It's kind of why you play PUBG almost every day instead of Call of Duty and such. Yeah, I just think when there's so much going on screen, it can be really, really hard to actually figure out what's actually happening. You know, sometimes in NGS PSE burst, I literally can't see what's going on. And I'm basically attacking blind because I just can't tell what's happening. I'm just going to cheese attack you through that. One thing I was bothered to do about PSO is how melee takes a backseat to technique and range attacks. Yeah, I mean, it's no secret that in PSO, Ranger is pretty busted. And then Force is very busted for episode 4. Always comes back to the same thing, doesn't it? Some arms, less is more. Yeah, I kind of feel the same way.
Completed.
Of course I find a Talus. Yeah, I'm going to assume a challenge doll has basically escaped off for challenge mode. That would be the guess. PSO2 does have a great character creator though, arguably one of the best on the market still in 2025. It's nice to have a boob slide for robots. Not many games can boast of that feature. Yeah, that is one of the benefits of the PSO2 character creator. The character creator in the game, I will say, is definitely still one of the best. Yeah, the fact that my Newman that I've got, the character I normally use when I'm not playing Classic, her design is entirely based on an artwork that I got done of her years and years ago, and I can basically replicate it more or less one-to-one. I just think it's one of those things where the focus of the game has just changed over the years, which, you know, is fine. It's kind of expected. You know, realistically, if they were still putting out games exactly the same as PSO now, I'd be wondering what they were doing. But at the same time, it is still nice to go back to PSO and just enjoy the simplicity of it. I did get a really funny comment, and this just reminded me of it actually. I got a really funny comment on one of my YouTube videos basically saying that all Phantasy Star games had boring combat, and that they were kind of games that you only play when you want to phase out, when you want to phase out and not pay attention. And I read it and just thought, well, you've never played Tower in PSO, and you've never done things like Masquerade in PSO2 then. Tower in PSO isn't fun though. Tower's fun. It just depends on what your definition of fun is. I don't like we're in this tiny little room with like a boss and several other enemies. Gills are main. Yeah, that is an understatement. Yeah, I've always liked Control Tower, partly because I'm just eternally forced to run it until I fancy a J sword, but yeah, I suppose the thing I like about the Phantasy Star games now is because they are so different between each other. There's always one that, you know, if it's the kind of game that you want to play, then there's probably a Phantasy Star game that you won't mind. You know, if all you want to find is crazy rare boxes, then PSO is the one for you. If you want to focus more on having a really cool looking character, then obviously PSO2 or NGS. Just depends what you want, really. This guy really does not want to die. Can I stop running around in circles? Thank you. Every enemy in the ruins can go in a fire. Red box is what matters, yeah. That's how we tell the PSL player right there. That guy had so much health.
Emergency. Code. Distraction.
You hunted the Yasharon gamekeeper for 4 years, finally got it in December. Oh, nice one. What did you find it from, Zil? Was it from the Skylight Bell Roller drop, or was it from the Viridian Earthquake? I hate that that is designed so it's just too tall for you to get on. Regarding the YouTube comment that said the combat's brain dead, I kind of get what they're saying. Some of the more challenging stuff you really have to seek out and it's easy to get distracted. Yeah, I get that. I think the way their comment was phrased was basically saying that everything in Phantasy Star was kind of brain dead. And that I disagree with. Okay, so how does one get around there? Is it this way? That doesn't look nice. I don't really want to step in that, to be honest. Yeah, that is bad. And that is also bad that we failed that, because now we're going to take damage over time. I would love to heal people, but I don't have any charges left. I also have no moons. Yeah, I think we're screwed because I have no moons left, so I can't revive anyone. Yeah, so you know about Phantasy Star combat being brain dead? Would personally not say that's brain dead. I like how they just continue attacking me. Wow. Needs more as well. Yeah, I've got to say I still don't like it well. Yeah, this is challenge mode, yeah. Don't like it either, but you can stall it with a 12. That's why I say use it. I mean, it is by far the most tanky class, for sure. Some people just aren't wired or used to more methodical and slow combat anymore. Yeah, I mean, obviously you've got, there are games like some of the Souls games that tend to be a bit more slow-paced for the most part, but obviously PSO is from a time when it was extremely basic. Yeah, see that I do not agree that Dark Souls or Elden Ring combat is brain dead. So we've got probably just under half an hour or so. So I'm down to either do one more run or something, or we can go to casino, whichever you want. Pika's in chat just like Gamper immediately. Thought we were going to NGS. I mean, it seems a bit pointless doing NGS for half an hour. Same mod, not really a thing, but it was fun. Give it that. Yeah, it's different, isn't it? Yeah. We will do an NGS stream at some point. It will happen. And no one will watch. This one gives a free 15-star series. Oh, cool. Yeah, I don't mind doing a bit of casino for a bit just to round the stream out. Maybe do some different games this time though, because we did Blackjack last time, so maybe switch up with something else. I don't mind trying Mezzotine Shooter, yeah, if you want to do it. I'm terrible at it though. Particularly as my mouse is not working for aim, so... It was fun to try that though. I've done the other challenge mode quest in this before. I think it was the ones where you start at level 1. See, now this sounds very loud. The music's all over the place in this game. Actually, yeah, before we go to the casino. What's my gamble look like? Your dreams will come true when you least expect it, so probably not in the casino then. You were hoping we were going to do the start at level 1 C mode, to be honest. I don't mind doing that next time we play PSO2 if you want. It's been a while since I've done that one, so I wouldn't mind trying that myself. Drac won't let you. Gonna head off, thanks for the stream. Oh, no worries, thanks for joining as well. Alright, so how many we got? So best for every single enemy and died to Shiva because 1 didn't use buffs and 2 used Dark Blast outside of where Shiva's at. Oof. Yeah, Shiva's rough. We did it a little bit earlier on, and yeah, it's the first time I've done it, and yeah, it's a really rough fight. Drax in lobby. Yeah, so we do have 2 more slots if anyone wants to join for the casino part. If not, we can just start. I've never tried the casino in FF14. I've seen people stream it a bit. Oh, he's Drac. Yeah, Killing That's got lead at the minute, so... You failed the affix. Oof. I'm so sorry. 281% fails. Oh. Oh god, was that 40 million as well? Oh no. So does that mean a lot more cradle runs then to get the money back? Yeah, it's Gamba time remote, it is. No one on Global does the mining rig. I'm guessing probably because people just probably can't coordinate well. So they just refuse to do it. The Shiva fight took you an entire hour because of how underlevel you were. Right, well, should we try some Mezzatan Shooter then? I don't know how we'll do with 3, but I'm willing to try it. Yeah, definitely shoot Meow because Meow is an imposter and an insult to Meow. You see, what I always forget with Mezzatan Shooter is I just focus on shooting everything and I forget that I actually need to like collect stuff. And then when I collect things, I forget to shoot. So I am not the person you want on your team for Mezzatan Shooter. At all. Also, another thing I really don't like about this game is there's no crosshair. And that really bugs me. I can't remember if you're meant to shoot Umbra or not. I genuinely can't remember. Such a creepy enemy, that. I forgot he existed. Okay, I'm guessing you're not meant to shoot him. It is kind of like a Pachinko machine, yeah. So you basically shoot all the different targets and then they drop coins and then you need to like move your little basket thing at the bottom here to catch the coins. Yeah, you can play Mezzatan Shooter up to 4 people. Which is why I never used to do it, because I used to typically solo stuff in the casino. And doing this with one person is generally not a good idea. Doing this with controller aim is awful. Oh great, 2 Umbras. I'm pretty sure the loot is shared, yeah, I think. I'm just going to hide in the corner. Thank you. Like how it says, please wait until the current wave is over, but I can still shoot stuff and help out. But yeah, I do like the casino in PSO2 because there is quite a few different games to do. Oh, we've got the big boy. Poor Mag is still starving. I fed it a rod earlier. I need to look on some of the wikis and see what to feed to reduce dex, so I can actually continue feeding it. And to be fair, a mag starving is nothing unusual for me with Phantasy Star. Normally the same in PSO as well. I like how we killed him and then immediately failed to capture the platinum at the end. We'll just pretend we got all those coins. But yeah, generally I find this to be the worst casino game. Maybe because I'm terrible at it. You hate Gamba. Can't believe that Zeveto converted the casino into Lucille. Right, well, I'm gonna... I think after this wave, I will bail out of Mezzatan Shooter. I got the rainbow one. I've done a job. Thought PSO2 would show you what feeding certain items would do stat-wise. It does give you a preview, yeah, but I'd need to sort of get loads of different items and see what they'd do. It's just because the dex on my mag is very, very close to leveling up and I don't want it to. Alright, we've got another wave. Am I the only one here now? I am the only one here. That's very weird. Maybe because I joined one wave later. So I'll be out momentarily. Yeah, I tried to pick up the disco ball drop from him, and I completely failed. Alright, so we've got about a quarter of an hour or so. So, do you want to do some either blackjack or roulette? In terms of PSO titles, what are your top 5 favorite games? I think for me it's probably PSO episode 1 and 2 first. Then probably Blue Burst after that. Then probably PSP2 Infinity, if you want to count that. I'm trying, what else after that, really? I mean, I guess I should say the original PSO or PSU in 4th. I will join on the next round when the bets are open again. And then 5th, probably PSO Episode 3 Card Revolution. Because that game deserves more love. What have we even got for dances anywhere? I don't know if I have the. I don't think I've got the actual leap and dance on this character. Oh, Drac got 300 coins. But yeah, I think PSO, like GameCube and Xbox, has always been my favourite one, just because it's where I started with the game. And as much as I like Blueburst, I kind of feel with Blueburst that some of the new items kind of spoiled things a bit because they were too overpowered. And you know, I'm going to be really specific and go there. I know there's been a lot of 4s the last few spins, but make a tier list video about it maybe. I thought about doing like tier lists at some point, but I don't know how interested people will be in it, honestly. Seas 4. PSO 3 made you wonder if Sega tried to replicate Yu-Gi-Oh! It's a really good game. I mean, the card game is totally stands on its own, really. And the story for it's really good as well. I realise I still haven't done the PSO 3 lore video, but it's going to be a bit awkward to do that. I will do one at some point, though. Passed on episode 3 yourself, didn't want to bother with card battles. Yeah, I mean, if you're not into card battles, it's not going to convert you. Oh, Drac won again. I won nothing. I mean, it's been blue the last god knows how many spins. I mean, surely it can't be blue again. I'm going red again. I'm doing it. We haven't had a 1 in a while. I'm going 1. It's going to be red 1. But yeah, if you're not a fan of collectible card games, then episode 3 is going to do nothing to change that. It can't be red because it needs to be green. The axe side was harder to you than the hunter side was. Yeah, I think it was for me as well. What do the jackpot prizes look like? I think you just get a lot of coins. I've never won it though, so I wouldn't know. Ep 3 is very slow. The battles do take quite a while usually. And the story is quite long as well. So it is a bit of a grind. I enjoyed it though, for what it's worth. I will say I never finished it though, because I never got cards good enough to beat the final boss. Come on, red, red, red. Do it. Oh, I got red. I'll take that. I got 300. Nice. So you'd expect it now not to be red, but it's going to be red again. And I'm sorry, it's going to be red 1. That's just how it is. It's red 1. Yeah, I've got all the free run stamps yet. I made sure I got the free run stamps. I'd not really bothered about the outfits or anything. I just wanted the stamps. You can import so far. You can import images for the symbol art. The stamps are a different thing. That rappy one is so cursed. But yeah, there's actually a free run collaboration with NGS at the minute. Yeah, some of the stamps have sounds built in. You can turn it off if you want to. The bunny thingy is killing it. They are going for it. They're all in sync as well. Well, that is not red one.
You piece of Ark's trash!
I was going to say, did anyone actually win that? Okay, well, since it wasn't red one last time, surely this time... See, now we're going to fake it out and I'm going to do red 2. Playing the system. What side did you play? Dreamcast, PSO and GameCube completely offline. Only ever got to experience it online with the Bluebird's private server and actually started off using dial-up. Yeah, I think a lot of people played it offline, honestly, even though obviously it was called Phantasy Star Online. There were tons of people who only ever played offline. I played offline because I started with GameCube, and for quite a while I played offline only. It was only later on I bought the broadband adapter. Now I'm still a friend, Jess. Shame my notebook can't run. Get a good view of the board. Why am I disqualified? What, for leaving the area? I was here when it stopped. Well, that didn't go well. Yeah, no on 1, nice one. Another point, did they ever optimize NGS at all? I remember it running pretty poorly on a 1070. I don't think they've done any optimizations. I mean, it runs alright for me, but I don't know how it would run on a 1070 now. It is quite an intensive game, honestly, which is kind of surprising. I think it's just badly optimized. Yeah, I'm going red again. No one can stop me going red. It's red 4 this time. You run it fine on max on a 1660, okay. You think the Phantasy Star games are very good offline games with an online function? That's a really good way of looking at it, honestly. You know, most of them you can do more stuff offline fine. PSU is kind of an exception to that because the PSU story mode was a bit bare bones in terms of the offline story. PSU story mode doesn't exist. Ethan Weber can't hurt you. You have a 4070 now, so it should be fine these days. Just remember it being very choppy back when it first released. It had a very rough launch, NGS, to be fair. Yeah, there were tons of issues with the servers. You know, anyone who played when it first launched knows that, like, you basically couldn't do anything because the game would just lag spike constantly. Well, yet again, I have not won any money. God hasn't abandoned you just yet. This guy just said God hasn't abandoned you just yet. Yeah, I did not expect him to say that. Might want to try your luck on the slots. Yeah, I think slots is definitely an easy way of getting casino coins on this. Right, I'm going blue. I'm going blue 5 for no reason. Yeah, I have no idea why they say that. You say that, but Rappy Slot is cursed for trying to win. The issue with Rappy Slot is getting the fever gauge thing up to 5. What you used to do on the Japanese servers is you would basically just like scour the machines and look for one that was on like 3 or 4 and try and steal it when someone jumped off it. Thanks for the stream. Gonna play PUBG with boys. Ah, no worries, missed. Yeah, I'll be ending the stream in a minute anyway. Yeah, good to see you. You've had many PSC bets, but they didn't class it as winning big. Yeah, it's quite hard to win massive on the slots, but you can get coins fairly reliably. Yeah, so what we'll do is we'll do one more roulette spin after this, and then we'll call it there. I'm not gonna lie, once I found Ethan in PSP2, I was like, who are you? No, that is not the correct roll. No, Draken won 300. Alright, last roll. Okay, I went against red and I paid dearly for it. So we'll try and curry further back with red again now. They are very good at taking coins. It's almost like it's a gambling thing. The worst thing is there is literally a space on the roulette wheel. Don't even see my cursor very well, but this one here. And if it lands on that, everyone just loses. Regardless of what you bet. They need the coins to dry clean their suits. I mean, they are very, very dapper suits. Alright, come on, roulette wheel, don't fail me. Is it just me, or is one always dancing in time with the drum beat? I can't really tell, honestly. They're definitely dancing in sync. Come on, wheel. Red. I'll take that. 450. Almost like it was planned. So yeah, what you do in a casino is when you win, you take it and you go, and that's where you stop. So yeah, we will end that one there for today. After getting a very unlikely win on the roulette wheel. So there will be a video going live to members on Tuesday. That'll go live to everyone else a week later. And there'll be another video on Sunday as well, which will be a public one for everyone. Streams, there'll be a stream on Wednesday for Phantasy Star 2. And then another stream on Sunday, which will be probably either... I'll think about it, but it'll either be PSO, PS0 or PSU, one of those three. I'll figure it out a bit closer to the time. Yeah, if you have enjoyed the stream, please consider usual like and subscribing, join as a member if you want to, or you can follow and sub over on Twitch. We've got a Discord you can join, which is in the video description for YouTube and just under the stream on Twitch. You can also follow me on X or Blue Sky at SectionSkyly as well. Also, thank you for the bits, Kilniath. But yeah, hope you have a good week, and I will see you guys on Tuesday for members video, and then Wednesday for the next stream. Yeah, hope you have a good few days, and I'll see you then.